Hello creeps! Anna here, and today I have a wee book haul for you, just a little one. I have really been restraining myself and not buying as many books as I normally do, which I'm very proud of myself. However, I did get quite a few, hold on, let me show you, packages in the mail. And so I wanted to do a book haul so I can show all that stuff that I got, you know, and share it with all of you. So it wouldn't be a giant video. You get what I'm saying? Okay, anyways, book haul time. So I purchased a few books and we'll start with them. Hi guys, future me cutting in really quickly. I will let you get back to past me in a second, but I do have to let you know that I did lie a little bit. So this week I had a little bit of a rough week, I'm not gonna lie. And so anyways, my best friend, he picked me up and he's like, I'm bringing you to the bookstore. And he brought me to 2 bookstores. I was so excited and I'm like, but I'm just gonna buy 1 book at each store. That's what I told myself. And I also lied to myself. So anyways, I thought that I would include these books in with this book haul anyways. So this is going to be a little bit of a longer video than anticipated, but I'll let you get back to past me and then we'll meet back here in 2400 hours and then I'll tell you the books that I got this time. Okay, I'll see you in a second. Okay, actually a little bit more than I thought I had. So let's start with this guy because this one is the one that I'm most excited about. Okay, I am going to be doing a video, probably the next video that I do, I'm assuming, about Sky Boys by Irvine Welsh. And this is the writer who wrote Trainspotting, the book that the movie Trainspotting is based off of. I've told you guys that that was one of my favorite movies growing up. I actually haven't watched it in a while. But anyways, I wanted to read Trainspotting, but this one is a prequel to that. And I have just, whatever, we'll talk about it next time. It was written after Trainspotting, I think, but published after, but written as a prequel to Trainspotting. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to tell you I bought Trainspotting because I finished this one. This will be the next video. We're going to talk all about it, go into some detail because it was one of the best books I've ever read. So I'm very excited to read Trainspotting. I picked this up at Barnes & Noble and they had it. I was a little bummed because there are a few other of his books that I really wanted to read that are just one-offs and not part of the series, because I think there's 4 or 5 of these Mark Renton books. But anyways, no information on the back, so I can't really read to you what it's about, but it's just about a group of friends and their addiction issues. So yeah, a really fantastic movie. I'm very excited to read this knowing how great Sky Boys was, and that was written after the fact. So I had to pick that one up. I just had to. Oh yeah, but they didn't have any other of Irvine Welsh's books at Barnes & Noble, which was a little bit of a bummer because I really wanted some other ones. Actually, one of you had messaged me and saying that I might like a different one, and that book is on my list to purchase, but I haven't picked it up yet. Okay, so the next one I got was Robert Bolaño's By Night in Chile. So remember, okay, this book has been on my list for a long time. You guys know on Amazon you can add stuff to your list. This one has been on there for a very long time. But it wasn't until I posted that last video that I realized that that short story I was talking about was a Robert Bolaño story. And I was like, oh yeah, I loved reading his work in college. We read quite a few of his short stories. So I was like, oh, I should purchase this book. And it does sound really interesting. It's been on my list for a long time, so I was like, I'm gonna pick it up. It says, By Night in Chile, Robert Bolaño's first novel to be published in English, launched him as a literary legend and international sensation. A hypnotic deathbed confession, By Night in Chile pours out the self-justifying dark memories of a Jesuit priest, Father Urrutia, sorry for my pronunciation, as through a crack in the wall, Urrutia's night-long rant provides a terrifying clandestine, I'm saying that word wrong, aren't I? You know, sometimes you see a word and you're like, hello, recognize my face. You see a word and you're like, I know what that is, but I also feel like I'm not pronouncing that correctly. Clandestine. Clandestine, okay. I knew that wasn't right. View of those strange Chilean bedfellows, church and state. So I don't know, it seems interesting. I just wanted to read more work from him because I really did enjoy the short stories. So yeah, I got that one. I also wanted a few just plain thriller novels to read. And I got Final Girls by Riley Sager. I think at this point there's only a few Riley Sager books that I haven't read. But this one, the back just says, I didn't even read the back to be honest, but it says 10 years ago, college student Quincy Carpenter went on vacation with 5 friends and came back alone. In an instant, she became a member of a club no one wants to belong to, a group of similar massacre survivors known in the press as the Final Girls. Lisa, who lost 9 sorority sisters to a college dropout's knife. Sam, who went up against the sack man during her night. Wait, this sounds so interesting. During her shift at the Nightlight Inn. And now Quincy, who ran bleeding through the woods to escape him. Despite the media's attention, the girls never met. Now Quincy is doing well, maybe even great, thanks to her Xanax prescription. She has a caring almost fiancé, Jeff, and a therapeutic presence in Coop, a police officer who saved her life all those years ago. Her memories won't even allow her to recall the events of that night. The past is the past. That is, until Lisa is found dead in her bathtub, wrist slit, and Sam appears on Quincy's doorstep, intent on making Quincy relive her past. And when new details about Lisa's death come to light, Quincy's life becomes a race against time as she tries to unravel Sam's truth from her lies and remember what really happened at Pine Cottage before what was started 10 years ago is finished. This actually sounds so interesting. I'm very excited to read that. I didn't read the back, to be honest. I just knew I wanted a fun Riley Sager read. And then you guys know that I've been kind of a Lisa Jewell fanatic this year. And so I got The Family Upstairs. I just love having all of these thrillers on hand. They're just good palate cleansing, you know, going from reading horror books or books like this that take a lot longer to read and more brain capacity, and we'll talk about all that in the next video. But you know, it's just nice to have a book that's easy. You don't have to really dig under the surface and you're just kind of there for the story. And so that's what thrillers are to me. And because I found that Lisa Jewell's thrillers don't suck ass like a lot of the other thriller books, not because they're bad, but because I just am not a huge thriller fan, as it turns out, I have decided to purchase all of her books. And so yeah, this one is The Family Upstairs. Again, I didn't read the back of this one because I know that I like her writing. And so there was another one that I actually wanted to read, but it was a summer one, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna be back in the bookstore before summer ends, or before summer starts probably. So actually, yeah, next month, because there are quite a few books coming out next month that I'm very excited about. But anyways, let's read the back together. Also, love this cover, the black with the purple flowers, and yeah, it's very pretty. So anyways, it says, soon after her birthday, Libby Jones returns home from work to find the letter she has been waiting for 25 years. She rips it open with one driving thought. I am finally going to know who I am. She learns not only the identity of her birth parents, but also she is the sole inheritor of an abandoned mansion on the banks of the... How do you pronounce this? I only have Dick Van Dyke's pronunciation of it from Mary Poppins, and I know everyone makes so much fun of him because of his accent. Thames. Or Thames. I just have his voice saying it in the back of my head. Everything in Libby's life is about to change, but what she can't possibly know is that others have been waiting for this day as well, and she's on a collision course to meet them. In The Family Upstairs, the master of bone-chilling suspense brings us the can't look away story of 3 entangled families living in a house with the darkest of secrets. So yeah, it seems just like, you know, your average traditional thriller book, you know, a lot of tropey stuff, but that's what the thriller genre is. I guess that's what every genre is based on, is tropes of that genre. By the way, I promise you I won't just be doing book hauls. I read your comments and your messages and stuff saying that you want reading vlogs. I promise I will do that. I just haven't felt well enough to film an entire week every day for a week in a long time. So, you know, I'm figuring that out, but I promise I hear your comments. I'm gonna try really hard to get an extreme reading vlog out within the next 2 or 3 weeks. But yeah, I promise it won't all just be book hauls and lazy videos. I'm trying here. The next one that I got was Thigh Gap by Chandler Morrison. Now, I spoke to him. He's the writer of Dead Inside. And I spoke to him after I reviewed that book. And we talked a little, and he recommended that I read this one. It's been on my list for a long time. I've been meaning to read it for a long time. It seemed intriguing, and because the author himself recommended that specific book, I was like, I gotta pick that one up. But this one just says, oh, but I did read the intro, and it seems like it's maybe not an extreme horror book the way Dead Inside was, which is fine. I don't care either way. But just so you guys know, if you're fans of his previous work, that's what the little foreword said in the beginning. So I don't know, I'm excited to read it, but it just says, Los Angeles fashion model Helen Troy wasn't always skinny. Drastic weight loss has given her everything: money, confidence, attention, respect. Sorry, I couldn't tell if that was the camera or my dog sighing. Being thin has legitimized her, and starvation has become an addiction. Following an encounter with a seemingly perfect rival model who destabilizes Helen's shaky self-confidence and shatters her fragile illusion of control, she's sent into a tragic tailspin that will take her to the lowest depths of hell. Nightmarish versions of herself begin materializing in mirrors, and her tried and true coping mechanism stop working. Reality comes apart at the seams as Helen's disease manifests in increasingly self-destructive fashions, forcing her to ask herself, what does perfection look like, and how much would you sacrifice to obtain it? I'm really interested to read that. Now, the last book that I purchased, there were 2 of them, but let me explain. My husband is not a reader. We have been together 11 years, almost 11 years in October, and I've never seen this man read a book. He does not like reading, and that's totally fine. I mean, we have very completely different hobbies. I don't like his hobbies either. He likes playing video games, he loves cooking. I hate both of those things. So we're just very different people. However, we were talking the other day, and I'm always trying to get him to read. I always beg him, just read Fight Club, because it's a short book, it's super entertaining, he loves the movie. I think he'd really like it, but his attention span is nothing. So the other day he says, okay, well, I'll read a book with you. And I'm like, really? Because I've been begging you for 11 years. And he says, yeah, I'll read Harry Potter. And I was like, oh, I don't want to read Harry Potter. And eventually I will. You know, I know a lot of people love it. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with those books or stories, but you guys know I don't like fantasy. There's just something about fantasy. The second a dragon or a witch or a wizard is mentioned, I'm like, I tapped out. I'm done. So it's just not my genre. It really isn't. And he loves all that kind of stuff. Yeah, he enjoys the Harry Potter movies. I've seen 1, maybe 2 of them. They're just not for me, you know? And I told him, well, I would be more willing to read something like The Lord of the Rings, because this is something that has stood the test of time, and it's more of a literary classic, you know? I guess now so is Harry Potter, but in a very different way. Do you get what I'm saying? So I said, let's read Lord of the Rings. Not that I want to, but I think I would enjoy it more than Harry Potter. So we got 2 Lord of the Rings books so that we could read together. We have not started reading them yet, but I'm very excited that he has agreed to read this book. But it just says, because I don't even know what this is about. I've never watched the movies. I don't know anything. It says, the ring wraiths, terrible thralls to the enemy, are searching for the Hobbit. Frodo Baggins knows that they are seeking him and the ring he bears. The ring of power that will enable the Dark Lord Sauron to destroy all that is good in Middle-earth. I'm going to hate this. Now it is up to Frodo and his faithful servant Sam with a small band of companions to carry the ring to the one place it can be destroyed, Mount Doom, in the very heart of Sauron's realm. I mean, and don't get me wrong, if you love this stuff, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just truly not my genre. My brain just turns off the moment that this kind of stuff is mentioned. I read the very first paragraph here. It says, when Mr. Bilbo Baggins of Bag End announced that he would shortly be celebrating his 11th birthday with a party of special magnificence, there was much talk and excitement in Hobbiton. And I was like, I am not going to enjoy this. But the things I go through to bond with my husband, you know, I love the guy. So anyways, we will be reading that eventually. Probably not this month, but maybe sometime in summer. But I am truly excited to know how this has stood the test of time and why so many people love it, you know, even if it's not for me. When was this published? 54? Holy moly. Let me change the battery really quick because you're gonna die. Not you, the battery in my camera. And then we'll get back to the PO unboxing stuff. Okay, did you enjoy that part of the video? So I'll leave timestamps for you guys if you want to just jump around, but these are the books that I got. Some of these were the used bookstore. and 2 of these were Barnes& Noble. So, sorry. The first book that I got was The Winter People by Jennifer how the frick do you pronounce this? I just feel like my brain does not understand names. There's a block every time I see it. Mahone? I don't know. You guys will correct me. You always do. And I appreciate it. But anyways, I have seen this at Barnes & Noble a lot, and I've always wanted to read it because you guys know I'm all for wintry stuff being read in the winter and stuff like that. So I've always wanted to read it, but I have heard mixed opinions on this guy. So when I saw it at the used bookstore, I was like, perfect, I'll pick it up. It was $7, you know, kind of expensive for a used book, but half the price of what it originally was. So I decided to pick it up this time. And this one says, "Some secrets never die. West Hall, Vermont has always been a town of strange disappearances and old legends. The most mysterious is that of Sarah Harrison Shea, who, in 1908, was found dead in a field behind her house just months after the tragic death of her daughter." Interesting. Now, in present day, 19-year-old Ruthie lives in Sarah's farmhouse with her mother Alice and her younger sister Fawn. Alice has always insisted that they live off the grid, a decision that has weighty consequences when Ruthie wakes up one morning to find Alice has vanished. In her search for clues, she is startled to find a copy of Sarah Harrison Shea's diary hidden beneath the floorboards of her mother's bedroom. As Ruthie gets sucked into the historical mystery, she discovers that she's not the only person looking for someone they've lost, but she may be the only one who can stop history from repeating itself. So that sounds fun and creepy, and it sounds, yeah, like a good spooky winter read, so I will definitely be reading that this winter. Now, you guys, I found the Irvine Welsh jackpot at my used bookstore, and I was so excited because even when I went to Barnes & Noble, they didn't have this particular one. Actually, they didn't have either of these, but oh, I put back the other one. Oh, okay, interesting. I thought I grabbed the third in the Trainspotting series, but I guess I put that one back since I haven't read Trainspotting yet, so I was like, I'll be back for that one, and I will. But anyways, yeah, they had a bunch of Irvine Welsh books, and he might be my new obsession this year. I mean, let's just call it how it is. So the first one that I got was Filth. This cover is just so intriguing. I don't know what it is, but anyways, the back just says, shoot, does this not say, why are these just quotes? These are just quotes. Tell me what this book is about. No. Thank goodness for Goodreads, you know? And oh, by the way, speaking of Goodreads, I can't reply to messages or to comments or anything on Goodreads. So if you've written to me, that's why. I created a account, like an email, so that I could set up that account, and then Goodreads says, oh, you can't reply to anything unless you do whatever, approve your email thing. So I go to my email and Google's like, you're against terms and policies, we're gonna delete your account. And I was like, but I've done nothing wrong. So I don't know what is going on, but I can't approve my account and therefore I can't respond to messages. So just in case you were wondering why I haven't replied, that is why. But anyways, okay, it says, with the Christmas season upon us, Detective Sergeant Bruce Robertson of Edinburgh's finest is gearing up socially, kicking off things with a week of sex and drugs in Amsterdam. There are some sizable flies in the ointment, though. A missing wife and child, a nagging cocaine habit, some painful below-the-belt eczema, and a string of demanding extramarital affairs. The last thing Robertson needs is a messy, racially fraught murder, even if it means overtime and the opportunity to clinch the promotion he craves. Then there's that nutritionally demanding and psychologically acute intestinal parasite in his gut. Yes, things are going badly for the utterly corrupt tribune of the law, but in an Irving Welsh novel, nothing is ever that bad that it can't get a whole lot worse. So yeah, very excited to see it. This one has been on my list for actually a while now. So when I saw it at the used bookstore again for $7, I was like, well, I gotta get it. And then the next one I got was Reheated Garbage by Irvine Welsh. And this, I believe, is just a collection of short stories. Yeah, gathers stories showcasing Irvine Welsh's trademark skills. Vaulting imagination, brilliant vernacular ear, scabrous humor, and the ability to create some of the most memorable characters in contemporary fiction. So I'm not going to go through and read the little blurb because it's just a bunch of short stories, but I was just a little intrigued by a book of short stories by him. And so I wanted to give that a read as well. And then they also, at my used bookstore, had an Ian McEwan jackpot as well. they had a ton of his books, like a ton of them. And I loved The Cement Garden, and I bought Atonement recently, but it's really hard for me to get up the courage to read a sad book, and I know it's going to be devastating, so I got this one. It says, on a chilly February day, two friends meet in the throng outside a London crematorium to pay their respects to Molly Lane. Both Clive Linley and Vernon Halliday had been Molly's lovers in the days before they reached their current eminence. Sorry, you know, I have said this before, but you know when words are separated and my brain takes like 5 minutes to put them together and figure out what's going on. Okay, sorry, it says, Clive is Britain's most successful modern composer, and Vernon is the editor of the newspaper The Judge. Gorgeous, feisty Molly had other lovers too, notably Julian, Foreign Secretary, a notorious right-winger tipped to be the next Prime Minister. In the days that follow Molly's funeral, Clive and Vernon will make a pact with consequences that neither could have foreseen. Each will make a disastrous moral decision, their friendship will be tested to its limits, and Julian will be fighting for his political life. So I don't know, it sounded interesting, and I definitely want to give more of his work a read this year because I loved The Cement Garden, but I do feel like that one was definitely more... And not that it was a horror book at all, but there were definitely like spooky horror elements in there, the way that there are in a lot of books that I enjoy. So I don't know how I will feel about his other books, but I'm excited to still give them a read. So anyways, I picked that one up. Okay, two more, and then we'll get back to the books that were sent to me and the P.O. box and all that. So I got The Myth of Sisyphus. This is by Albert Camus. He had a bunch of books there, and I was trying to figure out what to read next. I've read The Fall. I read The Stranger by him and another book, I think it's called The Fall, and that one was very stream of consciousness-esque, and The Stranger is one of my favorite books ever written. So anyways, I wanted to try another one of his works, and this one said that he was influenced by Franz Kafka, and I love Kafka too, so I thought that this might be an interesting one. But anyways, it says, one of the most influential philosophical texts of the 20th century, The Myth of Sisyphus features here in a standalone edition, is a crucial exposition of existentialist thought. Influenced by works such as Don Juan and the novels of Franz Kafka, the essay presents a meditation on the question of living or not living in a universe devoid of order or meaning. With lyrical eloquence, Albert Camus brilliantly posits a way out of despair, reaffirming the value of personal existence and the possibility of life lived with dignity and authenticity. I don't know why this one called to me. Okay, the next one, I've never read this author before. I've heard her name, but I've never read anything. But this book was maybe the coolest book I've seen in such a long time, and so I had to pick it up. I just don't even care how good or bad the book is. It was too cool to not get. So this is called Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose. But look at this Barnes & Noble edition. It's like a tape cassette, a VHS, and you pull it out and it looks like a VHS tape. And I know that there are a lot of horror books. Well, this one I suppose is a thriller, or I'm assuming is a thriller. I don't know. But there are a lot of books that are recently either just came out or are coming out that kind of have this look to it, this VHS tape look. And maybe I'll read a bunch of them and do a whole video on them. But I was so intrigued by this. I thought that this was such a neat way to deliver a book, and I had to buy it. And I, to be honest, didn't even read the back. I have no idea what this is even about. I just needed it. That's all I knew. So, okay, yeah, let me read you what it says here. Isn't this so cool though? So I don't know, let me know if you guys have read any work from her. And this one says on the back, rated T for thrilling. But let me know if you've read any of her works, because I'm just kind of interested to know, yeah, what her books are like. But it says, after their mother passes away, oh no, now I'm remembering, I did read the back. Three estranged siblings reunite to sort out her estate. Beth, the oldest, never left home. She stayed with her mom, caring for her until the very end. Nicole, the middle child, has been kept at arm's length due to her ongoing battle with a serious drug addiction. Michael, the youngest, lives out of state and hasn't been back to their small Wisconsin town since their father ran out on them 7 years before. While going through their parents' belongings, the siblings stumble upon a collection of home videos and decide to revisit their happier memories. However, The nostalgia is cut short when one of the VHS tapes reveals a night back in 1990 that none of them have any recollection of. On screen, their father appears covered in blood. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps. This sounds so fun. What follows is a dead body and a pact between their parents to get rid of it before the video abruptly ends. Beth, Nicole, and Michael must now decide whether to leave the past in the past or uncover the dark secrets their mother took to her grave. So this sounds so fun. And then the little tagline thing here says, most home videos show happy family memories, but this one reveals a deadly secret. And I am so intrigued. This honestly might be a book that I pick up very soon because I'm very excited for that. But anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys think about these. I'm gonna insert a clip now of a book that I got sent to me, and then I'm gonna go into the P.O. box stuff. Do not fear, I hath resuscitated you from beyond the grave. Okay, let's get to this P.O. box unboxing. I was also sent this one by McKay Watson, who is a fellow person who makes videos online about books. So I'll leave his channel linked down below, and then of course I'll leave his book. But he actually sent me this, which was so nice. But let's read this description together. So this is called Be My Friend, and this I believe is his newest work. Yes. So it says, on March 14th, 2010, 16-year-old Jacob Stewart vanished. In the weeks following his disappearance, strange interactions he had with a mysterious online figure, also known by the name Cronus, came about. This document is a collection of interviews, computer files, public news reports, and online speculation, as well as copies of Jacob's online interactions with Cronus that were obtained via the Freedom of Information Act. What we hope to accomplish by bringing this case to light is to reignite the desire to find Jacob and Thomas, because they could still be out there. Ah, interesting! But he does have other books that sound really interesting too. There's Broken Dolls, Them, and then Broken Doll's Deliverance. And yeah, he's writing quite a bit. So I'm interested to read his work because, like I said, this will be my first go around with his stuff. So very excited to read that. Thank you, McKay, for sending me that. And yeah, as always, I'll leave his information linked down below so you guys can find him and yeah, check out the book too, because it seems like it's an interesting way of storytelling. This is a lot of books. All right, let's see. Oh, have fun. Okay, so this is from Dalton. Look at how cute this package is. This is really cute. He says read them in rainbow order. Correct me if I pronounce your last name wrong, but this is from Dalton Primo. This is what they look like. And he sent me a ton of them. This is Wig, Wet, Whipped, Whiff, Warm, and Wood. Okay, so let's read. I'll read the back of one of them. And as always, I link all the books that I talk about down below in case anybody's interested in them. But he says that they're silly, spooky. It's a silly, spooky series. So wait, in rainbow order. I recommend reading them in rainbow order. Roy G. Biv. So yeah, red would be first. So let's actually read the red one first. Good furniture is so hard to find. Townspeople applauded as the three murderous sisters strapped to the old oak begged for their lives. Soon a blaze engulfed their bony, haggard figures. The next morning, the tree was found completely intact and the tethered bodies were gone. The wood of that old oak tree now stands as an orange rug in the middle of Henry and James's living room as their the wood of the old oak tree now stands on an orange rug. Okay, sorry, I'm an idiot. In the middle of Henry and Jason's living room as their coffee table. And the evil sisters that plagued the town 300 years ago have their eyes set on a new generation of victims. Interesting. A bedtime story for those who crave a little blood and gore with their milk and cookies. Dalton Primo's? I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but my brain cannot come up with another pronunciation. Wood is campy, gory, and terrifying. So yeah, 3 things that I enjoy. Tales from Beyond the Closet. These darkly humorous tales celebrate LGBTQIA+ culture addresses societal terrors while blending the whimsy of children's horror with adult themes and unforgiving carnage. Each story introduces an inclusive and highly relatable cast of characters, along with the imaginative plot lines, and occasionally tip into the realm of the absurd. From haunted coffee tables to a menacing 7-year-old ravenous plant, each tale is saturated with blood, gore, and sly social commentary, while others infused with horror. These books consistently induce nightmares, ensuring that that they will linger in your thoughts well into the night and perhaps prompt a call to your therapist in the morning. So thank you so much. That's so cool. I thought that this was a neat idea, having them be read in rainbow order. All right, next up. Oh, that's so freaking nice. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Again, I don't know if people care if I say their names, or you know what I mean, so I won't say your name or anything, but this individual sent me the other 2 books in the series from the My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. So this is Don't Fear the Reaper, and this is The Angel of Indian Lake. That is so nice. That is so nice, and you have just motivated me to read My Heart is a Chainsaw. I do not have either of these, by the way. So thank you so much. That is so freaking kind. And this individual also suggested that I read Don't Fear the Reaper during winter because it's a blizzard book, and you know me so well. So let's just read the back of these because I don't know what these are about. You know what? Am I gonna ruin something by reading these? Because I haven't read the first one yet, so I don't want to ruin anything in the series. You know what? I'm not gonna read them. But they are beautiful, and I'm very excited to, now complete the series. Let's get a look at the under the cover here. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, that's real nice. You have no idea how much I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Okay, next up, we have this here. Okay, so I got 2 books here. Now, I'm not sure why these ones were sent to me, other than a writer sent me their work through this address, and so maybe that put me on a list to get other work? I'm not 100% sure. But this one is Blood Covenant by Alan Baxter. And an advanced uncorrected proof. I don't know. I mean, I'm thankful for it, but I'm not sure how I'm lucky enough to receive these. But anyways, I'm very excited. This one is Blood Covenant. Let's see what the back's about. It says, what should have been a breeze of a bank heist for James Glenn and his crew goes violently wrong, forcing them to flee, blood-stained and angry. They stumble onto a remote lodge that doesn't open for another month. A perfect place to lie low until the heat's off, except it's occupied. The Moore family, just arrived to prepare for the season, are taken hostage by the criminals, but not without bloodshed. And when blood gets spilled, something ancient notices, something malevolent, something ravenous. Their only hope is the youngest Moore, teenager Reuben. Outside and unseen when James and his gang arrive, it's up to Reuben to get help and save his family, but the influence of the ancient evil is taking a toll on him as well. It says Alan Baxter is a multi-award-winning author of horror, supernatural thrillers, and dark fantasy. He's also a martial arts expert, a whiskey-soaked swear monkey. What the fuck does that mean? And a dog lover. Hey, me too! This is Children of the Dark 2, The Night Flyers by Jonathan Jans. I really like this like retro-looking cover. And then on the back here, it's... yeah, you can see it a little bit better. Okay, this one says... oh, and it's very soft. This one says, last summer, 16-year-old Will Burgess lost many of the people that he loved most. Now he's imprisoned in Sunny Woods Rehabilitation Center, facility for troubled youth. Separated from his surviving loved ones and terrified of a change inside him, Will is tormented by a new group of bullies and a sadistic government doctor. When his only ally, an orderly named Pierre, tells him that there have been sightings of a winged creature with glowing red eyes, Will believes him, because Will has seen the Night Flyers too. Even worse, he learns the monstrous children are still lurking underground. They want revenge on Will and will stop at nothing to destroy everything he cares about. Monstrous children. Will and his friends, new and old, must band together to fight the forces of darkness, but both human and supernatural, but Will But as Will learned last summer, evil is relentless and it won't rest until its hunger is sated. So yeah, this might be for monster lovers, and this might be for supernatural demon type lovers. I mean, like the reading books on those subjects, not that you're a fan of demons. Okay, one more to go, guys. Thank you so much for whoever sent that to me or why I got it. And the next one here, this one didn't come with a note or anything. So I'm not sure who sent this one either. So I don't know if this was sent by an author or someone else. I don't know. But this is called, I just bit my tongue, William, what? American Millennial. Where the fuck did I get William? By Winfield. And this is the cover here. And it's a #1 Amazon bestseller. And it says Nick Thompson is a YouTube star living in Burbank, California. Interesting. His entire online persona is carefully constructed lie, and it's finally catching up to him. After discovering another influencer, Tyler Frank, is grooming an underage fan, Nick exposes this to a live audience. An unidentified man decides to go for Tyler's blood, but he also poses as Nick's faceless doppelganger, calling himself Am? Or Am? After one of Thompson's nicknames, he claims to be the real thing and that Nick is only a fake. American Millennial is a surrealist dive into one's own identity and perils of online fame, and themes inspired by the work of psychologist Carl Jung. Winfield is an author of psychological and horror fiction in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure again who sent this to me, but yeah, this sounds interesting too. Let me know if you were the one that sent me this, because I'm curious if it was somebody who liked the book, like a fan of the book, or if it was the writer themselves, or if it's someone who knows the writer. I don't know. Let me know. Yeah, wow, I got so much stuff to catch up on. That was my book haul. That was the PO unboxing. Thank you to anybody who has sent me anything. Thank you for watching this, to you fellas in my living inside my camera. Thank you to the Academy. No, I'm just kidding. Stay tuned so we can talk about Scag Boys in the next video. I'll also have a movie versus book coming out soon. And yeah, I'll be working on a reading vlog next week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon with another horror video. Bye, guys.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.